Let's look for the Steelers to be one of the most physical offenses in the NFL this year. Let's talk about it. Hey, welcome back to the Black and Gold Standard Podcast. Been gone for a minute, but now we're back. Just want to kind of talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive coaches this year. Um, I just, especially watching, well, you can't get too much out of OTAs, but I just think the mentality on this offense is going to be they want to be the most physical offense in the NFL next year. And I really do believe that they're going to get that done. So I just kind of want to talk about some of the new a couple of coaches are new, but I want to talk about the offensive coaches here. So the first guy I want to talk about is the quarterback coach, Tom Oth. He was with the LA Chargers last year. This is his first year with the Steelers. Kind of got a I guess you could say he kind of got his hands full as far as working with Russell Wilson. That's probably going to be the easy part because at this point, Russell, he is what he is. I mean, being in the league these many years, so it's not going to be too much that you're really going to change with him. I'm quite sure they're going to try to work with him as far as using the middle of the field a little bit more. But for the most part, Russell is going to be Russell. Um, you know, so, but I think where he's going to really make his money is to get Justin Field up to par. Um, it's well documented. Justin still has some issues that he needs to really work out. In which I don't see that being a problem. Then also the Steelers really need to find out what do they have in him, and do they need to look for another quarterback, or is Justin going to be the guy that they're going to move forward with? Because I believe he's going to play every game. I think he's going to have a package of maybe 5 or 6 plays every game. They already know he's a great athlete. So, it's just some things that they need to fix as far as with his technique and maybe reading defenses a little bit. So I think this is where the quarterback coach is really going to come in and you know, show his presence and get this guy, ready to play. So with that said, let's move on to the running back coach, Eddie Faulkner. One of the things I love is watching the videos and the different type of drills that he comes up with. Um, I love that. Um, he got two guys that is pretty much established. I'm thinking Corn Robinson will be the third running back. So the running back room for the most part is pretty much it's pretty much full, and it's pretty much they kind of know what they got, what they're working with. You probably do have a chance for one of these undrafted rookies to maybe make the team, especially if they're good special teams players. So we'll see how that works out. Coach Faulkner, at the end of the year, he was able to be the offensive coordinator. So, that's a couple of things he got under his belt. I'm glad the Steelers actually brought him back because I think he's a good coach. So the next guy Coach Zach Anani. Coach Z, I call him. I actually was able to work with Coach Z a little bit a few years ago when he was coaching at the University of Tennessee. Um, I attended some camps there, and um, he's a guy that he's going to get whatever talent you have, and if you're willing to take the coaching, Coach Z is going to get it out of you. If you watch any of the OTA videos, he's the guy with the big red pads on, and one of his things is he want to make sure that you're concentrating on that ball. So he's always swatting at you, hitting you, and all kinds of things. Just to make sure you have that concentration. You'll see him out darn near laying on the ground, watching your feet, making sure you're taking the right amount of steps, and you know making the break when you're supposed to make your break, on your route. So he's very, very detailed, and he he's not going to let you cheat your talent. So whatever talent you may have, he's going to get that most. He's going to get the most out of you. And right now the Steelers still are kind of in that situation of, do we kind of move forward with the guys we have, or do we go out here and pick up another receiver? Me personally, I think they're probably going to have to end up picking up another guy, but he's going to work. He's going to work these guys pretty hard. And the one thing that you hear you hear this from a lot of the players: accountability. He's going to keep you accountable for your actions. None of that. This is just say all that mess that happened last year, not blocking and all that type stuff, is not going to happen under his watch, or you definitely won't be here. I can guarantee you that. But I think right now it's just a wait and see as far as what they're going to do with the receiver position. Probably not going to really get settled until they get to Latrobe and put the pads on and see what these guys could really do. But it was a great hire, and I think the Steelers receivers are in great hands, and they will have a solid year. Like I say, as long as you willing to take the coaching, you will get the coaching from Coach Z, and them guys should be pretty set. The next guy let's talk about, offensive line coach Pete Myers. Tough job this year. I mean, for one thing, the Steelers have put in a lot of resources in his offensive line. The last 2 first-round picks were offensive linemen. Second round pick was an offensive lineman, the center, and it's a possibility that the Steelers may have 2 rookies starting this year, and that's never an easy thing to get over, but they might be dealing with that. So I think Coach Myers is really got his hands full this year, because the Steelers, like I say, the Steelers want to be the most physical offense in the NFL. You got those 2 big backs that's going to be trying to run the ball down people's throats. So he has his hands full, because they've gave him, and there's no excuses now. They've gave him the pieces, and he has to make it work. The next guy is another coach that people don't really talk about too much, because for one thing, the tight ends kind of disappeared from the offense last year. Alfredo Roberts. I think the tight ends are going to have a huge they're going to have a huge say in his offense this year. Pat Freiermuth, he's he's in this contract year, so I'm quite sure he wants to have a big year. They want to get more out of Darnell Washington, other than just blocking. They want to really, get the ball in his hands because he's a guy that's going to be hard to bring down. I mean, 6'8" and 280 some pounds. I mean, that's a hard guy to tackle. So, um, I think the Steelers offense. I mean, the Steelers tight ends would definitely be a big part of this offense. So, Coach Roberts is going to have to get those guys prepared and ready to play. And I've seen they do a lot of drills down there with the receivers, catching drills and all that type of stuff. So it's like I say, it's going to be very, very interesting. And then the main guy is Arthur Smith. Um, I think this offense is his. I think the offensive side of the ball belongs to him. I'm quite sure Coach Tomlin maybe, especially during the game, he might want to run it more or pass it more or whatever. But I think for the most part, this is Arthur Smith's offense. This is, I think they bought in the players that he wanted, to bring in. I think he's going to have to answer for whatever goes on with the offense. I think he's the head coach of the offense, and nothing wrong with that. That means Coach Tomlin can kind of concentrate on the defense more. That's it. That's where he can kind of made his mark, and I'm fine with that. I mean, that's a great thing that from a head coach standpoint, you really don't have to try to have your hands in everything. So, all you heard was the players say how much they love the offense. Again, I'm not going to get into last year. It's well documented what was going on last year and the struggles that they had. So I think all those issues are behind them now. Um, I think the Steelers kind of, you know, got all the players that they want. Like I say, I could see maybe a receiver coming in sometime during camp if they feel like they need another guy. But other than that, I see this being a great offense for these for the Steelers, and I think what it's going to do is they're going to be able to kind of control the ball a little bit, control the clock, not have that defense out on the field so much or with all these 3 and outs and all that type stuff. You got two quarterbacks that's very good with the play action pass. So that's going to be a great thing. I'm kind of excited to see Russell Wilson with his moon balls and hitting letting George Pickens run up under those balls. Justin Fields doing play action plays, keeping the ball running. So it's going to be a very interesting offense, and like I say, I think the Steelers going to be very physical. So when a team line up against them after the game, they're going to know that we was in a football game because you're going to have Najee Harris coming down. Even though Najee lost a little weight, he looks great. I still think he's probably every bit of 230, so he ain't like he's a little guy now. I mean, he's still a load. Um, so it's gonna be it's gonna be tough. Like I say, they want to play a physical brand of football, and so we'll see how that goes. That's pretty much it as far as the offensive side. We'll do a film. We'll do a podcast maybe tomorrow. With the defense and going to. I think they got mandatory mini camp coming up, and then after that, they kind of shut down for about a month and get into training camp, and then that's where the real football kind of starting. Before you know it, it'll be the beginning of the season. So for right now, that's about it. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye bye.